Hey, everybody. Welcome out to the Death Battle cast. Hey, I'm Ben. That's Chad. That's Liam.
Hi.
That's Sam. Liam's wearing a girly Pop Nixon sweater for some reason.
That was funny. That was a good
I
bit.
thought it was
Now it's
funny.
Now it's been driven into the ground.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are talking about Lugia and Mothra today. If this is your first time watching the Death Battle cast, hey, welcome. Hello. The whole idea behind this show is we argue with each other to determine who would win in a fight, and that is
Very
decided by you
meanly.
all. Yeah, exactly. We hate each other, but that is decided by you all watching this live. We do this Tuesday at noon Central Time every week, and you guys get to vote at the end of the show to see who should win based on our arguments and whatever else you decide should influence your vote. You know, it's your vote. Whatever.
Like Liam's sweatshirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you like Liam's girly Pop
Do
Nixon?
you like Nixon? Do you like the escalation of the Vietnam War post 1968?
Who does?
Do you like the Chanel affair?
Oh God. Hey, we have some super chats.
Liam, you're one of the people who are arguing. So, all right. Well, Liam's going to be arguing for Mothra, which means don't vote
I'm
for Mothra. A vote for
puckish
Mothra is a
imp.
vote for Nixon.
Vote for Nixon.
I just
I
like
more
am
than
not a
ever.
kaiju.
you were able to name so many things and not even touch Watergate yet, right? Like,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know, right?
Nixon really was on one, wasn't he?
The
Oh
thing
my
about Nixon
God.
is that once you learn more about him, you realize Watergate was like the least bad thing that he did. Watergate is like peanuts. It's like whatever. It's like everything else, which is a million
It's like
times
whatever.
worse. It's like nothing. Like, oh my God, it's like a drop in the fucking ocean.
Well, maybe we'll talk about that in Champion Cast with our special guest for Champion Cast.
Oh, that's
We'll see
right.
how that goes.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
have a
Yeah, stick
special
around
guest.
after the show. We have a special guest for Champion Cast, who will grill Liam on maybe.
Nixon.
We'll see how it goes. I don't know. But yes,
We
Go
got
ahead,
some
Chad.
super chats, Ben. So Tentel says, "What a great way to start! Chat panicking, cast a joke that we won't know. What a blast! That's right, you'll never know."
Yeah.
Kid Rex says, "My favorite
Welcome to the
legendary
show.
Pokemon versus one of my favorite Toho kaiju. This is gonna be awesome." Yeah, like I mean, you just hear this matchup on paper and you're like, I was sold immediately. And then
Th-
Creature Transylvania wants to know, including Mothra Leo.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about
Okay.
that. Maybe.
Yeah, Mothra
maybe.
Leo is a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So maybe you saw that thumbnail coming into this cast, and you're wondering like, why? Like, what is this matchup? The connections that these two have, and just like their roles, are fascinatingly similar to me. This is a matchup idea that I remember talking to you, Liam, about like years
Yeah.
ago.
Years ago.
And-
and I
and
was
every
like,
so-
oh!
Yeah, every so often I'll see it come up on like a forum thread or something like that, but it's not like, I don't know, super popular or whatever, even though I would love to cover both these characters in a death battle. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm also was of the perfect age to go see the second Pokemon movie, right? When it was
Oh,
in
yeah.
theaters, and get those like special edition legendary bird cards. Yeah, I was that kid.
Nice.
So Lugia was always one of my favorite Pokemon as a kid, for sure. And I had Pokemon Silver as a kid. So I'm going to be arguing for Lugia today, whereas Liam is going to be arguing for Mothra. So let's get into this. The reason why I think it's such a fascinating matchup is because of their roles in their like respective universes. Essentially, they're both guardians of the like Earth and the natural balance of the Earth. But they also have like some very weirdly specific similarities. I swear to God, Lugia must have been based on Mothra, at least partially, or there might be some like Japanese folklore legend that I'm not aware of that this is based off of, because both of them, in their original stories, and multiple original stories, are ancient entities that are hidden away, sort of like slumbering monsters. That most of the knowledge of the creature has been lost to time, but one single tribe of people who've maintained tradition for centuries on some lonely island out in the middle of nowhere have maintained the legend of these creatures and know how to summon these creatures through the power of song. It really does get that specific with them both, and I love that. So let's get
Through
into
the power
this.
of song.
It's a powerful
Okay.
song. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Both
Not
of them use
the,
song
like
to summon them.
karaoke that you're thinking, or like whale songs, right? Like,
Well,
No, like
Mothra is actually pretty karaoke.
Yeah.
okay,
They have the little Deshobujin that go.
Yeah, so much so that the twins that wake up, Mothra, are like traditionally in most of the Japanese movies are cast as like idols who are twins or sisters or things like that. Typically
Yeah.
speaking, because they have a singing role.
Gotcha.
Lugia is a little bit different. It's off of an ocarina. There's no singing involved. There's like choir and stuff, but it's just an ocarina song.
ocarinas were
But
hot
it's
back
just-
then. They had to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
exactly.
They were all the rage.
Ocarina of Time had just come out like 2 years prior, I think, right? So everybody was into the Ocarina.
Yeah. And Gilded just gifted out 5 memberships. Thank you, Gilded. If you guys got a
Thank you,
membership,
Gilded.
check out all the membership content you get access to now. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So Liam, let's talk a little bit about Mothra.
Mothra. Yes. Okay. The guardian of Earth and of nature, part of an ancient civilization awoken by the Shobujin. Mothra is the queen of the monsters, and in fact, when she, hang on, there we go. Actually, this is really important. So I'm gonna need to stand up for this.
What bit
From
do you
mine.
I'm gonna
have
need to.
planned?
I'm gonna need to raise my desk
Are you?
because I can
what-
raise my desk now.
Are you
Whoa.
just
Flex
showing
desk.
off your standing?
You have a
Yeah.
standing desk, and
I
you
I have a
decided-
standing desk. Hang
I
on, it's
would
gonna
do
keep
it
going.
We don't even
Wait.
have a standing desk sponsor for this episode. What are you
There we
doing?
go. There
I
we
would
go.
raise my desk as well if it wasn't for the fear that like some cable will fall out and crash the whole thing. So
Yeah, well, don't jinx it. Okay, Mothra.
Well, Finn
there we go.
gifted out 5
That's the
memberships.
tippity top.
What's up, Finn? How you doing?
Mothra is really strong and is a deity of Earth. She's the queen of the monsters. When she was actually first introduced in her fight with Godzilla, in her first crossover movie with Godzilla, it was Mothra versus Godzilla, not Godzilla versus Mothra. She had more pull at the time. She is second to Godzilla in terms of Toho movie appearances. And despite being a big, like, fluffy teddy bear of a kaiju, is incredibly powerful. Like, I know that the biggest, like, barrier to entry for, like, can Mothra fight is that when you see her fight, she just flaps her wings, and it's like, that's not fighting. But then, like, Godzilla is the one being like, oh, fuck, oh, Jesus, oh, God! So, like, the wing flapping is intense, and she has lots of other things, and there's Mothra Leo, which we'll get into, who's crazy. Mothra is a Godzilla tier force, and is gonna rip Lugia's ass apart.
is Mothra also
amazing.
like in your room with her wings hitting your table and shaking your camera?
Yeah. Every time you
Oh,
hit
yeah.
your table, it's making me want
Sorry,
to throw up.
guys.
It's Mothra's banging on
Mothra's
Liam's
just
wall.
out here banging around.
Okay, so Lugia's got a lot of the same things going on. Guardian of Earth, slumbering away. Lugia is known to be one of the 5 legendary birds. Fun fact, the only legendary bird, and I think the only Pokemon, like in the entirety of Pokemon, not designed by Creatures Inc. Lugia was specifically designed, commissioned for the second Pokemon movie. They made him for that movie, and kind of incorporated him into Pokemon Gold and Silver afterwards, which is probably why he looks so strange compared to the other birds. But you know, it is what it is. Lugia is paired with Ho-Oh. They are called the Tower Duo. They don't technically share the same kind of similarities that a lot of other like legendary Pokemon trios and duos have later on. But they're generally associated with one represents the sun, one represents the moon, because that was when they were introducing the day-night cycle. Even though Lugia doesn't really have moon powers, he's more so a
Ocean, right? That's the moon connection.
Kind of. He
'Cause the
hides
moon
in the
controls
ocean,
the ocean.
but he doesn't
Yeah,
really. He isn't like an ocean Pokemon. He's a psychic
No.
type, actually. He's not water type, and I can get into
That's
why later on. But Lugia originally started. They're called the Tower Duos because originally Ho-Oh and Lugia both nested in Ekritique City on the top of these 2 towers. But Lugia was so powerful that he had to flee. And the implication, it's never outright stated, but the implication is that Lugia accidentally summoned a storm that was going to destroy the whole town. And was like, oh, I can't be around people. Lugia got sad. Summoned rain
Idiot.
to put out the fires that he was causing. That his tower burned down, but the rest of the city was saved. And he fled and he hides in the ocean. He slumbers deep in the ocean in a trench so that his power does not negatively affect the people of the world.
Just his passive aura.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, a single flap of his wings can summon a storm that can last for 40 days. So, when you're that powerful and hanging out in a town of people, yeah, it can be very dangerous. So, he basically hides in the ocean until he's needed. And in the second Pokemon movie, he is called upon because the legendary trio of birds, which kind of represent like the core elements of the world, of nature in a way. They were torn out of harmony because this guy was trying to collect them or whatever. So Lugia is summoned to basically calm their shit down. Lugia is Rayquaza before Rayquaza, right? And he's dealing with 3 of them. Rayquaza just has to deal with 2 guys, Groudon and Kyogre. Lugia has to deal with Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno. 2 of which are super effective against him because Ice and Lightning are super effective against flying types. So like he's got a lot to deal with. But he kicks their ass, so he's fine.
Wow. Real quick, Johan with a over $100 super chat.
Wow.
Just gonna call that out real quick. Thank you. Says, have you heard about YouTube's plan for August 13th regarding using AI to determine someone's age and all that stuff? Yes, we know about it. Should be good. Should be fine.
Yeah, I think that might be getting a little overblown. We'll see how it actually gets, implemented and whatnot. But I wouldn't worry too much about it. Like YouTube obviously doesn't want to
Yeah, YouTube's not going
make
to
it so that you guys aren't watching videos you don't want to watch, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see how it's implemented, but I don't think it's something to be too scared over.
YouTube
also,
makes more money off of 18 or 16 plus users. Like the older the user, essentially up to like 45 years old, they make more money off their ad revenue. So YouTube's going to want everybody to be as old within the primary range as possible. So I don't know. Not super worried.
Okay, I'm done standing. I want to sit down again.
Wow, short period.
Long.
Yeah, that really all right.
Gotta get used to that
watch thing.
Yeah, it's standing desks are all about like going back and forth. Right?
Yeah. Also, I've been tracking all the super chats. There's been a lot. They're going crazy today, man.
So I do have a question. Is Lugia a bird phibian then? Like they live in the ocean? They're a bird are they underwater?
I guess so. Yeah.
That's weird.
It was originally designed so his wings are definitely more like wing flippers if you look at them than normal wings. Yes, there's clearly some like inspiration to killer whale like look to Lugia's design. So I do think there's a mix there. But yeah, he's not water type. I believe they haven't actually outright say this, but he's not water type, I believe, because he's psychic type. He's psychic flying. And what's weird about the psychic type in Pokemon is technically psychic type doesn't exist. It's kind of like the situation with like dark type. I think this one is the more infamous one, where dark type is actually evil type. Like the direct translation would be evil. Psychic, the direct translation is more Esper, which is just like extrasensory, right? And so that kind of brings in your traditional psychic, but also psychic kind of applies to any creature that can just sort of connect spiritually with the like stuff around them, right? So Lugia's whole thing is that he's connected to the world. He's connected to the like balance of nature, balance of the world, and therefore psychic is, I believe, that's why he's psychic.
He's a flying psychic type?
Yes.
Oh, Mothra is a fucking bug electric type. Oh my god, he's like mega fucked. Mothra like has literally like bug type.
Really
why is Mothra electric type?
Because Mothra like shoots lightning out of her wings.
Yeah.
She has this thing also where she can shed her.
Mothra doesn't shoot lightning out of her wings.
Yes, and there's literally it's a move called Pressure Field. And that was given the name in the fucking Rebirth of Mothra trilogy. She does this stuff. She did this stuff way earlier, but she like sheds her scales. Yeah. And her scales, it's like in Showa, it's like a poisonous powder, and in Heisei, it's her scales. But she sheds her scales, and it creates this like massive field of like, and her scales reflect attacks, which we'll get into. But then she shoots lightning out of her wings that then bounces around all of the scales and just
Oh.
continually zaps you over and over
Okay.
and over again.
Well, fortunately,
and she can shoot.
Chat does reiterate because Lugia is flying type, he's not weak to bugs, so it's all good.
Weak to electricity though, the lightning.
Sure, I guess.
Mega
but also,
fucked.
well, we'll get into how Lugia deals with things like Zapdos and Articuno, who ice
Mm-hmm.
and lightning are supposed to be able to take him down. And he has some answers to that. But like, just generally speaking, Lugia's just so powerful that he can't be around people. And could, if Lugia were to just fly around the world, like the entire world would be flooded. There'd be natural disasters everywhere. Hurricanes would be everywhere. Like, this is the level of power we're talking about when we talk about Lugia. So it ironically, the Pokemon that, the first of many Pokemon, because hey, Zygarde, I know you're out there too. The first of many Pokemon that are like about defending the balance of nature, is also potentially the one who could throw it the most out of whack possible, which is interesting to me. But okay, so let's talk a little bit about we'll get into like their move set and things like that in just a bit. I do also want to mention, yes, I know some people are asking, are we going to be showing a sneak peek for the upcoming death battle of Hulk versus Godzilla? Yes, we will be showing that later on in the show, so stick around for that. But before we get into anything else, I do want to talk about a sponsor for this week's episode, which is, hey, if you've been watching the show for a little while, you know who these guys are. It's Hero Forge. You know we love Hero Forge. Hero Forge is an awesome online tool where you can build and customize tabletop miniatures. It's basically the ultimate character creation like screen. If you've ever spent like a whole hour customizing a character in an RPG, then I promise you're going to freak out when you go to heroforge.com. I promise you. Please go to heroforge.com. Yeah, literally, you type in heroforge.com, and the first thing that pops up, basically the main screen, is just this big character creation tool, and it's awesome. There's so much you can do with it. Hero Forge has been around for a while, and they've just been constantly like making updates to their tool set. So there's just so many character options for it, and of course there's plenty of like fantasy options. Right, but also you can build like sci-fi characters and Western characters and all sorts of crazy stuff. Yeah, like you see on screen right there. That's Wiz. Oh, and I actually have that minifig right here. It came out so good.
Cool.
I've used Hero Forge for years, like up to before they actually started sponsoring us. So I was super excited when we got the Hero Forge sponsorships.
And then they continue to sponsor us. So yeah.
And they continue to support us, thanks to you guys supporting them, which is awesome. And Hero Forge has recently redesigned their premium plastic to be even more durable, because like I said, they're always adding new things. And most recently, they've added a way to get your characters printed as acrylic keychains so you can show them off everywhere you go, which is kind of neat. So visit heroforge.com to start designing your custom miniature and dice today, and check back often because new content is added every week. And that's right, next month they will be launching custom printed dice. Yeah, the same custom dice that we talked about a while back when they were launching their Kickstarter for it. Well, the Kickstarter went great, so the dice are coming. They're almost here. So thank you so much, Hero Forge. It's great to have you sponsoring the show again. Seriously, go check out heroforge.com.
Donkey Long in the chat says, finally got a physical mini of my D&D character because of this show.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, thank
We
you.
did it.
That helps us.
Oh, I didn't mention it, but you can color your mini in the character creation screen on Hero Forge as well. So if you're not like really into painting minis, they got you covered too. It's awesome.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna catch up on some super chats. Let's
Yeah.
go. Night Ghost, before we begin, did you guys feed Liam yet? Nope, never gonna happen. El Cato says, I love both these characters. If this
Why
becomes
not?
a fight, I'll be sad to see either lose, but not if you win gambling. Lily says,
El
Well, El
Cato's
Cato
always
loves to gamble.
gambling on the
Oh,
fights.
right.
yeah, El Cato's always
which I
gambling,
don't
you know?
think
I
we
missed the name.
condone, just for the record.
Yeah, no, don't.
I soft condone it. Lily says, this cast dies and lives again like Mothra. Speaking of which, have you guys heard about Aerith versus Mothra? It's a goated matchup.
No.
I know that Aerith, frankly, Aerith probably wins, but like, I just imagine like this tiny little like, she's like does the staff or like shoots a little thing, and then Mothra just goes, lightning.
Wait, hang
fucking
on.
eats
Is
her.
it just because they die all the time? Is that the reason? Because yeah, we know Mothra.
They're
dies,
like the gentle maternal figures of the group.
Yeah.
Godzilla
they're,
is
like,
like
healing
immortal or
powers.
whatnot because
Yeah.
he regenerates and stuff. Mothra doesn't have the same regenerating like extreme ability. Instead, she's just constantly spitting out new like larvae.
Yeah,
There's
her thing is
always
like
new-
Yeah.
it's like intentional. It's like her like role is like it's representing samsara. Like Mothra
Yeah.
is just continually reborn through
Yeah.
her children.
She's constantly dying and being reborn, very Phoenix-like, very much like
Yeah.
Ho-Oh. Really, you could make this like if Mothra
Ho-Oh
is
works
really
too, yeah.
so powerful that like Lugia
Yeah.
can't compete. Maybe the matchup is Lugia and Ho-Oh against Mothra because both of them have like
That's
a lot
kind
of
of
similarities.
cool.
But anyway, are there
That's
more
very
that
fun.
you wanted to talk about or you
Uh,
wanted to cover, Chad?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, tons more super chats. Dexter says, "I love the recent rise of kaiju's in Death Battle." Stories of a Satyr says, "Hey, question: is Liam voicing Godzilla? Can I get a shriek from him, or are you making your own roar for the episode?"
I can do a shriek.
I
You
knew
hear
you
a
were gonna
shriek?
do it no matter what.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Break away from your
Just
mic
gonna,
first.
yeah, I'm gonna take my ears half out. That's a really ill
That was like a
Godzilla.
llama.
Like that Godzilla needs to
So
go
that's
to a
what Godzilla's
doctor.
going to sound like in our upcoming episode. Get ready for that.
Yeah. Mothra fan 2020 says, "I feel like I should be here."
Lugia
Yeah.
swamps.
Welcome. Living Corpse says, "Glad to see more kaiju fights coming. Personally, I want to see Gaios versus Rodan or
Gyaos.
Ultraman Ghost, whatever, versus Zone Fighter. Just saying. I mean, hey, more kaijus. They're always
Gyaos
fun.
versus Rodan. Oh, I guess Gyaos has the laser that could cut through Rodan. I can see that, sure.
And Mystek was backing that up, saying we need more Godzilla rep outside the big G himself. Yep. Ryorku says, "How do I root for Mothra but against Liam?"
That's a tough one.
Well, unfortunately, that's not possible on this cast. Okay, so let's get into like moveset and stuff. So you kind of talked a little bit about Mothra's like shedding scales and things like that. You want to get more into that?
Yeah, I wrote down some notes. Okay, so her most notable attack is her wings. They can flap hard enough to create like hurricanes. They can discharge lightning bolts. You might know more about this, Ben, but Godzilla Earth, I think, has something called the asymmetrically permeable shield. She was able to disrupt that. I think it's like a force field or something, but she was able to disrupt that and make it so that he could still be hit by his own attacks. They can redirect her scales on her wings. Can redirect attacks like any kind of energy attack that's thrown at her. It can bounce it back at the opponent. She can fly even in the vacuum of space by flapping her wings. That doesn't make any sense.
How does that work?
Because there's no air molecules to push against. I mean, there's very, very few like disparate molecules, but like that doesn't make any sense. But she is clearly flapping her wings. She has this move called the Flash Dash, where she can increase her speed up to what's stated as Mach 80. She has speed feats and scaling that are way above that, but Mach 80, where she zooms and like turns her body into a fucking like battering ram. It just like cuts through you, like it's super fucking fast. Her pollen can cause poison and paralysis, like can prevent you from moving. She has an antenna that shoots energy beams that are like ultrasonic waves. Her scales, like I mentioned before, that she can shed, they can also blind opponents. So like Godzilla is like blinded, he can't see anything. The pressure field I mentioned before, which like increases her lightning's ability to like bounce around and kill you. They can disrupt technology too. Like Gigan threw some like his like slicer hands at her, and they got caught in the pressure field, and then they spun around and like boomeranged back at Gigan and like decapitated him, like sliced his head off. Her claws, she can like charge with electricity, and so that when they hit you, they just explode on contact. She can shoot webbing both in her larval form and in her adult form. They're strong enough to restrain Godzilla. It's worth mentioning that in the first fight with Showa Godzilla, she's like the Mothra that fights Godzilla is like older and she's defeated by Godzilla, but then her two larvae together are enough to like defeat Godzilla, which I thought was interesting. So a young Mothra is very capable of fighting Godzilla. And her silk can turn into like a whip called Milky Whip, which I thought was
Oh.
just the worst possible name.
Ugh.
That can like she can control and like knock things
Yeah.
out of your hand or something. She has some poison darts. She can divide her body into like countless little fairy Mothras that can fly around and do shit. She can create a sealing circle on the ground. Like she dragged Godzilla into the ocean and then created like a seal on the ground made of energy that like prevented him from leaving the ocean. She can camouflage herself. She can emit God rays, like which is just this like omnidirectional blast of energy around her that was able to disperse this gigantic storm that was like 500 megatons or something like that. She can resist mind control, which is very interesting. She can resist psychic attacks, which I think is going to be useful against Lugia. And if she is like, as a suicide move, she can like surround herself in flames and fly into you and blow you up, which she does against Gigan. She does against Gigan even after his head got cut off, which I thought was sort of like, but why? He's already dead, but okay.
Well, Gigan is a robot. I believe
Yes.
he was able to continue moving.
Oh, he might have been able to. Yeah.
Gigan is an alien machine that comes down.
She also has a.
I believe you're referencing Final Wars.
Yes, Final Wars.
Gigan was killed early on, and then they brought him back with like these like chainsaw hands.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So
he looks fucking
Mothra was
cool
like,
in that.
"Fuck this shit. We gotta get rid of this guy. I'll nuke him. I'll kamikaze him."
She also can survive Ghidorah's gravity beams, which I always thought were just like lightning bolts that were called gravity beams to sound cool, but there's like a guidebook that states that they destroy your gravity, which causes you to break apart. And gravity like affects you at like the subatomic level, so she's technically able to survive like her fucking corpse being ripped apart. Like it's actually kind of crazy being hit by his beams. Yeah.
It doesn't just I don't know if destroy your gravity is quite right. It like eliminates your gravity, so that's why it can lift people. So like the gravity beam hits you, and then you can just be like lifted. It's like telekinesis.
Destroys your gravity is like quite literally like it says like it destroys your gravity, like causing you to break apart. It was like the quote.
Oh, it does?
Okay.
I don't know if I've ever seen him do that before, but all right.
Destroys your gravity is like so hard for my brain to compute. Like, what does that even?
Yeah, I know.
It's like that's not how it works.
Yeah.
Let me run through Lugia's powers real quick. Lugia's got a lot of beams and things like that. The most commonly known one is the Arrow Blast, which is like in game mechanically it's a flying type move. That's a beam that is the kind of the idea behind it is that it increases its chances for. Normally you have like a 1 in 32 chance for a critical hit. Arrow Blast, you have a 1 in 8. And the anime kind of represents this by having Arrow Blast be like a dozen beams at once. He just fires. It's sort of like he fires a beam and then a bunch of other beams show up and like kind of join it. He's got a few psychic type moves, but really psychic isn't like his most. He's not using like the type of like psychic moves that you would like kind of think of when you think of like things like Alakazam and Mewtwo. Because again, I think psychic type for Lugia is more about his connection to nature than like mind powers. But he does have Future Sight, which is basically a trap move where you activate it and then later on beams show up out of like space and strike the target. The thing with Lugia, like I mentioned before, he's able to create a hurricane, a 40-day hurricane with just a flap of his wings, which equates to something along the lines of energy worth 500 gigatons of TNT. But like the big thing with Lugia is that he just doesn't stay down. Lugia has so many ways to keep a fight going for as long as possible, which is how he's able to like deal with things like Zapdos and Articuno. Recover. He's got Recover, which is a move that just heals him. Just on a dime, if whatever damage he's got, it's gone. He recovers. He's got Safeguard, which can prevent Lugia from being like inflicted by status effects and things like that. So that like dust that you were talking about, the pollen, poisoning, sleeping, anything like that, he can just negate that with Safeguard. And he can also do the same thing with Mist. The move like reduces any of his stats from being lowered. So any sort of and basically any sort of attempt to debuff or power down Lugia, he's got a way to counter it. And I think. Oh, and also in the anime, it's not really clear what this move is supposed to be, but he just has a shield that he can just kind of summon when Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres are all attacking him all at once. And these are legendary Pokemon.
Yeah.
Are incredibly powerful on par with like Entei and those kinds. Lugia just summons the shield that can tank their attacks. And this lasts. He's basically doing this for the majority of their first encounter. Before he gets recovered and just comes back good as new. So it's gonna be very hard, I think, for Mothra to actually take him down permanently. And I do want to mention you had talked about the larva of Mothra being able to take down Godzilla. I don't know what the deal is with these larvae, but they're sneaky motherfuckers. Because the way they take down Godzilla is they don't actually directly fight him. Anytime Godzilla gets one of them in his claws, like they're fucked. What the larvae do is they sneak around and hide, shoot webbing at Godzilla. As soon as Godzilla notices them, they're like, oh, and they run away.
That counts. That fucking counts. Have you read The Art of War?
Until they get enough. Until they get enough webbing on Godzilla that he can't move. That's how they beat Godzilla.
Yeah, that totally
have
counts.
A hard time against a flying monster. I'm just gonna say.
I definitely think Godzilla is a hardier opponent than Lugia, but maybe that's an unpopular opinion in these places.
I think
so. First of all, 9S gifted out 10 memberships a minute ago, so thank you so much for gifting out those memberships. Especially
last
now
was
that
probably Protect. That makes sense. Yeah, he would. I mean, that's a long-lasting Protect. I guess he can use Protect consistently, which is not how Protect works in game.
Yeah, and we just got another $100 super chat. This one from Bread God, who says, "Hello,
who's Bread?
It is
today?
I, the Bread
Bread
God.
Bug?
Sorry I am late. I was hanging out with Mothra talking about her husband's upcoming battle. Also, Mothra has my vote, and Liam here have the second Bread Buck.
Thank you,
Bread Buck. Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
How many bread bucks can we accumulate?
Filling my belly with bread and buck.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, I am keeping track of all the super chats. Y'all are going crazy. I've got like 3 pages of them. Just a heads up, Ben.
I do want to point out that I think Liam saying that counts. Have you read The Art of War? Is like the most Liam like short sentence.
Oh yeah,
ever hit.
yeah, right.
I'm gonna see if I can clip that later. That counts. Have you read The Art of War? Yeah. Classic Liam.
For Mothra's larva attacks.
Yeah, look. Let's be real here.
They're sneaky little fuckers. It doesn't mean th're any less effective.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Do you think Mothra's read Sun Tzu? Like,
probably, to be honest. But yeah, and we've talked about how they have like faster than light speeds. Like both of them are like dodging lightning and dealing with that kind of speed. So I think.
Well, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah. I get a little bit more than that. Like Mothra can fly through space and match characters like fucking Ghidorah and Gigan who fly across like interstellar distances.
Mhm.
So Ghidorah is in the Zone Fighter TV show, and Zone Fighter is able to fly from Jupiter to Earth, I believe, in like a few minutes or something like that, and that's like 280 times the speed of light. But then fucking Gigan is able to fly from the Space Hunter M Nebula to Earth in a short amount of time, and that was very interestingly 280 million times the speed of light. And then there was another feat. I have to like find it again, of somebody. I think it was Ghidorah in a different thing, flying like across a big chunk of the universe at like 200. Let's see where it is. What's the calc? Hang on. Oh, Space Godzilla was able to fly, or his crystals are able to fly across like a huge chunk of the universe at 218 billion times the speed of light.
That one's like a spaceship, essentially. That was a little bit different.
Sure. But then either way, it's going to be in the hundreds of millions to like a low billions of times the speed of light. And that's just their like flight speed. So Mothra is able to like keep up with that and dodge attacks from them. Now, how they're able to do that on Earth with the atmosphere exploding is, whatever.
is
But
that doesn't actually happen. They aren't actually that fast when they're on Earth.
There
so
you
it doesn't
go.
matter. It doesn't apply.
we are going to downgrade every faster than light character on Death Battle now.
Yep. Can't be faster than light, or you break the Earth, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry. No more FTL.
Technically, you would break the
ever again.
universe. It wouldn't even just the atmosphere. The universe would like explode. You know,
Yeah,
how can it contain
jeez.
an infinite amount of energy?
Man, we've been so wrong in the past. What are we doing here?
Batman just dodging a bullet at like relativistic speeds would rip the universe apart. Putting it down, putting it in there.
Oh wait, hang on. Never mind. Batman is universal level, everybody.
Batman is
Confirmed.
universe level.
All right. You know what? All of this is making me really need to take a drink of coffee from our second sponsor,
Ooh, iced.
Trade Coffee.
Nice.
Feels so cheesy. Look at this. This episode of Death Podcast is sponsored by Trade Coffee. And let me say 4 words. Home brewed cold coffee. If you just cringe remembering the last time you tried to do that on your own, you butchered a pot, don't worry. I've done it too. I'm with you. And Trade Coffee has got you covered. Trade is the #1 coffee destination in the U.S. for both cold coffee drinkers. They make it effortless to make your own cold brew at home. That's both delicious and at an amazing value. And they've got everything you need. For me, I drink cold brew all year round. It's the way I drink coffee. Summer or winter, I say getting ice in that latte is the way to go. But I've been buying grocery store concentrate all this time, so I'm legit excited that Trade is sponsoring us. And if you're not sure what kind of coffee you like, they have a Find My Match quiz on their website that you can take that matches you with your coffee. I guess it's kind of like a dating site, but it's like, what coffee do you want?
Yeah.
So I took the quiz, and this is what I got. Thunder Lips.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says about me, but they sent me Thunder Lips.
Yeah.
That's apparently what I matched up with. But it's great. I mean, they send you this whole. Here's my most recent brew. This is great. This is from them, by the way. They have this. So you can get everything you need from them for some great coffee, and it's really, really delicious. I really sorry. I should be talking about them, not drinking them.
Yeah.
So for a limited time, Trade is giving 50% off a month of cold brew. That's around 60 cups of cold brew for 50% off when you go to drinktrade.com/TMGW. That's drinktrade.com/TMGW. Again, go to drinktrade.com/TMGW to get 50% off 1 month of cold brew. drinktrade.com/TMGW. I'm doing that. Once I'm done with this batch, like, I want more of that. It's really good. I might try something other than Thunder Lips. I'll see what else they've got.
I don't know. Pizza Time in the chat says Ben Thunder Lip Singer, which I hope sticks forever.
Good name.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about. God damn it! I was about to say let's talk about Mothra's Thunder Lips, but I really don't want to do that. Let's talk about. Let's get to the nitty gritty of like this matchup. What do we
How
need
powerful.
to do to determine who wins? Like, is there anything you've been saving, Liam, to like really solidify your argument for why Mothra should
I mean,
win?
I just think that like Mothra is way stronger. Like just being like a Toho kaiju gives you like way better feats than like a legendary Pokemon. Generally speaking, like just being born was enough to create earthquakes that could be felt across like a country. Like just the process of being born.
Same. Same.
Yeah, that's what they said about me. She was able to help defeat King Ghidorah, who is powerful.
I mean, on that note, to be fair, I do think there is some similarity in power. I don't necessarily want it to come across that there's just a completely different level of power. Being born creates earthquakes. You know, Entei causes volcanoes to erupt all around the world just by roaring. So there's a similar level of like the world cannot handle these types of creatures, right? And that's Lugia's whole thing. He's hiding in the ocean because if he just flew around, the world would be destroyed, most likely.
I've got more. I was building up. Like the earthquake thing is from being born. Like that
Sure.
I've got
Okay.
I've got better feats than that.
Yeah, and Lugia destroying the world is just him flying around. Like he's not even trying to destroy it. So go ahead.
Yeah, Lugia's not like busting the planet when he's flying around. He's creating storms. Mothra was able to physically divert an asteroid that was going to shatter the Earth into like a million pieces, like with her body. That is an asteroid that has been calced to weigh 100,000 million billion trillion quadrillion quintillion 774 quintillion tons. I think that's assuming like it's moving at like a general like the what an asteroid would normally move at. Able to redirect that with her own energy. And for what it's worth, Ghidorah in like just the Showa era is strong enough to like consume entire planets and stars, like eat stars. Ghidorah is insanely powerful, and it's been stated in a lot of like Toho material that Heisei Godzilla is actually stronger than Showa Godzilla. And by the time that he fights Mothra in Godzilla versus Mothra, he has undergone a 200 times power boost from when he starts off in the Heisei era. So like
Kaioken 10
applying that
Godzilla,
level of power, yeah, like you can do like Dragon Ball Z multipliers to that. You're at like solar system level in terms of destructive capability, which is consistent with other characters in other like Toho series.
I will say, if you're using Ghidorah, be careful which one you're using, because Ghidorah, I think, of all the Godzilla monsters, has like completely different types of iterations that don't really compare to each other. Like the Stars one is like a cosmic, like eldritch entity that is like thousands of miles long. It's this.
I'm not using that one. I'm using Showa. This is just scaling from Showa Ghidorah that like Mothra fights.
But that one's not eating stars.
That one is eating stars.
No, it isn't. It's raising planets and stuff like that. It destroyed Mars.
No, it's stated that like he flies around and like consumes stars, like eats them. This is specifically Showa Godzilla. Not sort of. I'm not lying. If I can pull it up if I have to. I'm not fucking lying.
So is Showa Godzilla like Galactus or something?
So you know he's just checking.
Okay.
Why is he eating stars? We probably don't have time to answer.
Because he's a space like monster that goes around and like consumes energy. Like that's his thing. Yes, he does it to
Ghidorah's
planet.
whole
He can
thing
just
is
raise planets.
destroying. He's their version of Galactus in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Okay. So he is Galactus. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
He's a Galactus. He's a big dragon.
Okay.
Ghidorah Ray. What? No. Ghidorah.
But Ghidorah is also the most powerful monster of the whole series. Like he's the only one who really
besides
can
Godzilla.
give Godzilla a run for his money, like one-on-one.
Yeah. Yeah. But
like, generally
still,
speaking, more often than not, Godzilla needs help to take down Ghidorah.
Yeah, help from Mothra.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
there's also Mothra Leo, and Mothra Leo is sort of unique. There's arguments for and against including Mothra Leo as part of a Mothra composite. So the idea
son
of Mothra,
basically,
son of Mothra. That's the unique thing about him, is that he's the son of Mothra, which makes him different from the other Mothra, like reincarnation or like some, like new Mothras being born. But he is still Mothra. Like he's just a male Mothra, and he is more powerful. Mothra in the Rebirth of Mothra series is able to defeat Des Ghidorah when she's younger, but when she's older, she dies to him. It's not a huge difference, but she does lose to him. Mothra Leo is able to beat him. Mothra Leo can like turn invisible. Mothra Leo has a light speed form that can like fly backwards through time. And he has an armor. He zooms and like he flattens out and then like goes backwards in time to fight Grand King Ghidorah in like this like the dinosaur age. He also has a move called Transcending Fate, where he turns intangible and flies through you. And when he flies through you, you like turn into crystal and then shatter. I don't know what the fuck he does. That's just the fuck off guy move.
Mothra Leo is bizarre.
Mothra Leo's cracked. Mothra Leo is like, what if we made Mothra like the main character of a trilogy, basically. So whether or not you think the fact that it's called Mothra Leo and it's a male Mothra, whereas every other Mothra is female, makes him like enough of a different character, or you think that it's just another Mothra being born, and this just one happens to be stronger. Either way,
I do believe
you could go
Leo,
either.
There's a specific reason why Leo gets different powers. But I can't.
I mean, yeah, he goes on those like adventures and gets power-ups that are unique to him. But it's
Mothra
it's
doesn't
up to you whether
have Mothra doesn't just have that crystalline making power. That is not something.
No,
that
every
she,
Mothra doesn't have that. But if
to
you
Leo.
if you count Mothra Leo as a Mothra, then you would say like, oh, in this story, Mothra gets these abilities. But if you don't, if you consider Mothra Leo to be too different, then exclude him. I don't think it matters either way. But I think it's worth mentioning.
Multiple people in the chat are saying if you're including Mothra Leo, then Lugia should get Shadow Lugia.
I was thinking about
That might
that.
be a way to balance it.
I mean, Shadow Lugia is just Lugia Barangi. like Shadow Pokemon
Lugia.
are just Lugia or Pokemon that are just turn kind of evil, essentially. I don't believe Shadow Lugia has like a massive power increased. I could be wrong, I guess, but I don't believe so. Either way, Bucket Lugia doesn't need it. He's destroying, towns just by flying over them. Like, he's got this. It's fine. And I mean, other legendary Pokemon are creating black hole. Like, Gardevoir is not a legendary Pokemon, but she's a psychic type, and the Gardevoir can create a black hole. So, like, Lugia is going to be more powerful than that as a psychic type as well. Like, I don't know. I feel like
how big is the black hole? Because black holes are still have mass, right? Like, they aren't necessarily a black hole isn't necessarily like star level just because it's a black hole. I assume Gardevoir is making a black hole that's like generally the size of Gardevoir.
Chat says it's a small black hole.
It's a small black hole, yeah, but it's still a black hole. And yes, that's
you
right,
weren't digging into my ass a second ago. Now I'm fucking going spelunking too.
Wow, what a perfect time for me to talk about our next sponsor.
Fire Piranha, you're right. I forgot. Shadow moves are like effective against everything, and they are always super effective. I did forget about that.
Yes. Well, hey, listen up. Triple sponsored episode. Go support all of our sponsors, please, because this episode is also sponsored by Monarch Money. All right. I know you just heard the word money. That's a little scary. Don't worry. Monarch Money is all about helping you with your money. It is a home base for money clarity and management. So useful. Multiple members on the Death Battle team have been using it even before they came in as a sponsor. So we were really stoked that they reached out and wanted to support the show. Let's get serious for a minute. How many financial accounts do you have that you can name off the top of your head? 401k, investments, that second credit card, your local supermarket. It can get overwhelming, right? So feel organized and confident in your finances with Monarch Money. Monarch is an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface on your laptop or phone. It's built for people with busy lives. If you've been putting off organizing your finances, like I definitely have, then Monarch is going to save your butt. You can link all your accounts in minutes, get clear data visuals, smart categorization of your spending, and real control over your money. You'll never need to touch a spreadsheet again. And fun fact, Forbes named Monarch Money the best app for couples. Money problems can break couples, and Monarch wants to help bring you together. Monarch gives couples full access to a shared dashboard. It's all in one place at no extra cost. Even sharing a financial advisor doesn't cost anything extra. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code DBC at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code DBC. Check it out. Super, super helpful.
I can't believe we didn't do a Monarch
butterfly joke.
transition.
I thought about it.
I was thinking.
I thought about it.
Yeah.
I was working on it, and then Liam made that statement, and I was like, well, this is my transition, I guess.
Time to go. Yeah. Okay. So we'll get to the vote in just a minute. We do have. I know a lot of people have been wondering what's going on with Hulk versus Godzilla. We do have a sneak peek to show. I will say, just because the timeline on this episode is a little weird, it's a little different than what I think some people might be expecting. Godzilla or Hulk versus Godzilla is airing. It's not airing this weekend. It's actually airing next weekend. So the plan is to release it on Sunday the 24th. Just the way things kind of worked out with our production timeline. We're getting a sneak peek in now instead of later. So yeah, keep that in mind. Hulk versus Godzilla will be premiering on August 24th, but we do have a little something to show off. So let's go ahead and show that right now.
Looking
excited.
pretty
It's gonna
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, Hulk versus Godzilla will be airing on the Death Battle YouTube channel August 24th. That is two Sundays from now. So keep an eye out for that. This there's so much that I want to talk about with this episode. It's just
Yep.
been it's so much. It's so big. We'll probably do like a whole I kind of wanted to spend a cast talking about Hulk versus Godzilla because it's just such a fascinating matchup to me. And just as we started working on it, just more and more came up that were like, this matchup is fucking insane. It's crazy. And probably one of the most difficult ones I think we've ever had to like really piece together. Just because it's so complex. But we'll talk about that on later Death Battle cast for sure.
It makes me, that shot there at the end of the preview makes me want to, and I know it's not technically, but like I feel like one day we should do like Death Battle's top 10 beam struggles, because it is like it's kind of a beam struggle, right? Like, but very fucking cool. And it's definitely in the top 10.
Yeah, oh for sure. Super Money gifted out 5 memberships. Vamulator gifted out 5 memberships. All y'all love your continued support every time we show a sneak peek. And then Joe says, does that mean Light versus Columbo is coming next week? Absolutely not.
No. No. And keep in mind, Light versus Columbo is not going to be a traditional Death Battle episode. It's going to be its own thing. It's not even a bonus episode. It's like its own thing. So you'll understand what we mean when we get to that. It's going to be, that's another one that there's just going to be so much to talk about when we actually do that, because there's just so much going into that.
Michael McDonald also gifted out 5 memberships, and I've seen a couple people asking, Ben, are you down to reveal the Hulk's voice actor?
Yeah, we'll reveal that in a bit. But I do think we should maybe, with all these things coming in, we should bring in, we should show it off again.
Dougie.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty cool. So we've got Hulk voiced by Blythe Malin, who did an awesome job. Excited to have him in Death Battle. And as you guys know, Godzilla is voiced by our very own Liam Swan. We just did the perfect Godzilla roar earlier in the show. If you miss it, don't go back and watch it. It was perfect. Okay, I trust me. It was absolutely perfect. All right, let's get that poll going. Chad, who are you thinking? Who are you leaning towards for this?
They're both gods, basically. I am kind of leaning Mothra. Lily also gifted out 5 memberships. Thank you, Lily. I Gilded also with 5. Lugia is very powerful, and he's fought legendary Pokemon, and like I feel like there's scaling to like literally like the gods of the universe and stuff, but like Mothra being Mothra and the lightning and the scales and all the things. I'm just leaning Mothra. I'm sorry, Ben.
Well, Sam, you're in my corner, right?
Why not? Because I really can't. It's a coin flip, so why not? Sure, Ben. I'll take that.
Cool.
Sure. I mean, if this one is one of those ones that obviously you need to dig deep into for sure.
I want to do this one. This would be super fun.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do this one for like a long
cool.
Since Ben brought it up to me, I was like,
yeah.
Although I didn't know about this Mothra Leo shit. That is where I go like.
Well, there's also like additional like versions of Lugia from like card games and things like that. So I don't know if you'd want to get into like the extra versions. Shadow Lugia, of course, is one.
Does Lugia not have like a VMAX or any of that kind of stuff as well?
I'm sure, but I don't know if that would necessarily change anything, or if that actually applies in that way. I don't really know how that works in terms of applying in a Death Battle scenario. But all right, so the poll is up. Go ahead and get your votes in. I'm also curious if anybody here watching, if maybe this isn't quite the matchup for you, what if Ho got involved and it was a 2 versus 1 scenario? Like, would that, because like we kind of mentioned at the beginning, Lugia shares a lot of similarities with Mothra, but really it's the duo that kind of have a very they sort of share a lot of the same responsibilities that Mothra has with Guardian of the Planet, kind of control over rebirth, that sort of thing. So maybe Lugia and Ho against Mothra is the way to go, which would be very unique for a death battle to have like a asymmetrical fight, 1v2, right? Maybe that's the way to go. Or, as mentioned, Mothra versus Aerith, which is just so fucking funny.
Could you imagine that thumbnail? Like,
Is the thumbnail just
a
them
tiny
dying,
little
though?
Aerith and like a giant Mothra.
But is the thumbnail Aerith with Sephiroth's sword through her and Mothra
Sword through her?
exploding?
Yeah.
Like,
That's the connection.
Yeah.
yeah,
the
it's just
thumbnail?
the silhouette.
oh my god. All right, we're gonna wrap up the poll here with okay, fine, guys. Really? You guys voted for Liam? You know what that
I did
means,
see. I think it was
right?
Lily being like, "Come on, we can't let Liam get 2 wins in a
Yes.
row, man. Y'all are really
Yes.
after Liam.
61%.
This is the handicap that I work with every single time.
With 61% of the vote, Mothra takes it. So yeah, very curious to.
What did they take from my? Oh, I guess they took from both of us.
Very curious to hear your thoughts in the comments below about the matchup and what you would want to see, what kind of like direction you'd want to see this go if this were to become an actual death battle. All right, so we will wrap things up here by showing the sneak peek one more time. I will say, stick around. We are going to be jumping over to Champion Cast right after this. That is our members only sort of post show, and we have a special guest on today's post show. It's Mog.
I'm sure he won't
Yep.
be
Don't know who
rude.
that is.
Oh,
Yeah.
you will.
Dude, get ready.
Yeah.
You will.
And thank you everyone for all the super chats. I have put them all in a document. We will read them all. Sorry we didn't have time to read all of them on the stream. Maybe we'll read some in Champion Cast. But we appreciate the support. It means a lot. But we also have to do the show, and y'all were going crazy today. So thank you.
Yeah, really appreciate y'all. All right, thank y'all so much. We'll see you over in Champion Cast in just a minute. Take care.